Remarkable. Canadian Music Week is pleased to announce, or to welcome to Toronto, one of the world's foremost trend setters and watchers, Michael Chong. He's the founder of a company called Social Revolution. He works out of San Francisco. His expertise has been sought by such clients as, in the early days, Commodore. He also developed and later sold one of my old faves, Mac Week. Wonderful mag. His topic today is how social media is changing our world. Please give a warm welcome to Michael Chong.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Michael.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Today we're going to talk about social media revolution. I'm sure you've never heard of it, right? As you can tell, my title is Change Agent. Can you guess what I do? No, I don't make small change. I know that's what you're thinking. I help you manage big change. And the way I do that is by helping you become a more accomplished trend spotter. Because identifying trends is absolutely critical in what we do today. We want to make sure that we latch our future to the right trend. And to that end, I have created a bunch of constructs called Ubertrends that are major waves that cascade through society, leaving many subtrends in their wake. And if you can detect these Ubertrends in any business prospects, startup ideas, etc., that you might be pursuing, you will be likely to be far more successful at what you do, because one thing about Ubertrends that distinguishes them from regular trends is that they change values in our culture. And that is really absolutely essential that you understand, because other trends typically only skim the social surface. And today I'm going to focus your attention on 3 of the 8 Ubertrends I track: digital lifestyle, the marriage of man and machine; time compression, the acceleration of life; and unwired control freak generation. Now, you are well aware that the whole world is being swept up in a massive amount of change. A small guy, a Tunisian fruit vendor, was able to set in motion a chain of reaction that led to the Arab Spring, a revolution that took over the whole Middle East. And that would not have been possible without the help of Facebook. In fact, one Egyptian was so proud of the contributions of Facebook that he decided to name his firstborn Facebook. Just call me Face. But as this photograph so aptly shows, it is really a revolution in our digital technology that is helping spread the word rapidly. And that word is being propelled through the world in massive amounts of change. In Russia, Xenia Sobchak has gotten almost 370,000 Twitter followers because she has taken up the arms, even though she's the Paris Hilton of Russia, against Vladimir Putin, and it is becoming a huge movement here, as you can imagine. Even the normally reserved Japanese have become positively ebullient on social media, setting the tweets per second record back in December around the debut of a really old anime movie, which shows you how far social media can travel. Closer to home, we've seen that we can now detect viral outbreaks, which is something that was just recently discovered, even though it happened 2 years ago, because Twitter can track patterns of disease before even the official authorities can. And to give you an idea of how incredibly reinventing this social medium really has become, is the fact that we have a homeless woman in Chicago who was literally taken off the streets because she engaged with a following on Twitter. And that shows you how pervasive and powerful this medium has become. And it has also become an emotionally engaging medium, in that we are now able to express through it our deepest sentiments. The one that I found particularly moving was the one about Sarah Burke, which is posted on Reddit, how I prefer to remember Sarah Burke: athlete, hottie, and stand-up Canuck. And I think that is something that you can see is becoming part and parcel of this massive social media engagement movement that we have gotten ourselves into. Now, the ripple effect of this medium, of course, is everywhere. Some people may know that this particular television show was based on a Twitter account. It's certainly not the last example of social media setting the trend before the mass media pick it up. In fact, there is another show on television which is the ultimate celebration of geekiness, The Big Bang Theory. And I'm sure those geeks would be very happy to know that you can now update your Facebook page using your OnStar system in your car, to which comedian Jay Leno said, "Well, finally, I was getting so bored talking and texting." Facebook has become such a manifestation in our society. I'm sure you saw the numbers presented earlier by ComScore, but you can see the data here. Although Facebook use is not growing in terms of users, but it's certainly growing in terms of minutes, up 20%, and over 1 billion visits a month by Canadian users. So that is a spectacular feat that you can see that the engagement is just going crazy. And as of 2010, and it's become kind of like a mirror of our society. I love this. In 2010, 44 million said they became single and 37 million married, and my favorite, 3 million said it's complicated. Exactly. And that to show you that how incredibly time-consuming it has become. As of 2010, according to a TNS global survey, we now spend more time on social networking than we do on email, which was a communication tool introduced, 17 years ago? So you can see how quickly things are changing and how rapidly this change is taking place. And again, that is reflected in the data in the ComScore study, because as you could tell, we're spending a lot less time with the traditional ways of communicating, i.e. email, IMing, and portals, and much more time with entertainment and social media. So again, reflective in the trends that we see here today. And to give you an unbelievably outstanding example of how addictive these social media have become, that Texas singer Erykah Badu used Twitter while she gave birth, or as she did not put it, she tweeted while she squeezed. Their words, not mine, okay? The fact that we're so addicted to these status updates and these tweets is, of course, being ridiculed by our online humorists. I love this cartoon. So you're saying people will tweet while they're eating for breakfast and upload pictures of these breakfasts to a Facebook, and other people will make comments? Excuse me, future man, but is everyone in your time retarded? If you were asleep and suddenly woke up today, asleep for a long time, you would definitely feel, oh my goodness, what is happening in this world? Why is this all so crazy? You know? But the fact of the matter is, you know, we are loving our time spent online. In fact, speaking about picture taking, look at the amazing amount. The last year we took those analog pictures, remember those that you had to drop off at a drugstore to develop? 85 billion, year 2000. This year, we're going to upload 250 million photographs a day, bringing the total stash on Facebook to 135 billion pictures. This gives you an inkling of how immense this medium has become. Absolutely immense, which is, of course, also why everyone in the cat freaks out when Facebook or Twitter is down, right? Exactly. If you find yourself playing these social media games, and who doesn't? Cityville, Farmville, Castleville. These things can be incredibly addicting, right? I'm sure you know. In fact, if you find yourself updating your Facebook status at work, or heaven forbid, playing Cityville, then you're participating in a whole new phenomenon called social not working. And who could be working when people are, your friends and family and office workers are passing along fun little videos like this one?
Do the evil eyes, man. Give him the evil look. Do the evil eyes, man. Give him the evil look.
Hey, when this girl grows up, you got to give her a job to scrutinize your media insertion orders, don't you agree? Exactly, exactly. And the fact that we are so addicted to these videos is so well documented by the finding, again by ComScore, that shows the increase over the past few years has been just absolutely astonishing. We're looking at 170% growth in videos viewed. If you're looking at the Netflix introduction in Canada, you're seeing that that grew by 106%. So if you're like me, you find yourself in the middle of the night realizing, oh my goodness, the whole night escaped me because I've been streaming movies. Then you're participating in a new phenomenon called screen sucking. And if you have registered at so many websites and have so many usernames and so many passwords, I know it's happened to you, come on, admit it, and you forget them, then you're suffering from another affliction called logonorrhea. That these humor examples have infiltrated our whole lifestyle. Give you an inkling of how powerful this whole digital lifestyle is becoming as part and parcel of our life. And you can be forgiven that you forget things. I mean, when you're fascinated by new social media like Pinterest, which is growing incredibly fast, you can see that, look at this. This is so visually appealing that it's hard to resist. And it's hard to resist participating in the trends these media propel, like the teacup piggies out of the UK, which have become very popular due to the social media photo sharing that we do, you know? And of course, you know, if you have forgotten, because of all of this action, what all these social media really stand for, let me help you understand it the donut way, okay? Here's the chart. Twitter, I'm eating a donut, and with a hashtag, notice? Facebook, I like donuts. Foursquare, this is where I eat donuts. YouTube, here I am eating a donut. LinkedIn, my skills include eating donuts. And my favorite, Google Plus, G+, I'm a Google employee who likes to eat donuts. But lest you think that this is a very superficial use of media, allow me to set the record straight. The real reason most people use social media is because it allows them to connect with family and friends. And that is such a profound use that I don't think that's going to go away. And it's going to stay with us for a long time. And that's what you need to remember. So another trend that's being propelled by all these media around us, FOMO. Do you know what FOMO stands for? Fear of missing out. I found this pillow on Etsy that helps explain it better. Always up late? Always last to leave the party? You may be afflicted with FOMO. Fear of missing out. There is no known cure. Now you know what it's all about. Of course, it's being propelled by our younger generation. The people who always want to stay connected. And they have become addicted to the smartphone because that's, of course, the primary always connected tool. And again, here you see data that shows how quickly that has come. We've got 45% smartphone penetration in Canada already, with certain usage categories growing over 50%. Those categories are finance, and hey, we're in Canada, of course, weather, 59% up. I'm actually kind of amazed that ComScore did not include mapping and GPS in here, because that is the most essential reason people treasure their smartphones. So just make sure you check that one out. So you've got this trend going, and of course, if you can imagine, businesses that leverage these trends early are meeting with massive amounts of success. The best example of that is the Kogi Korean barbecue trucks from Los Angeles. These two trucks debuted in 2008, and they told reviewers that, hey, anybody who follows us on Twitter, we'll let them know where the trucks are going to be next. You should have seen some of these early reviews in Los Angeles. What's Twitter? These reviewers said. Well, when I started following this company in 2009, they had 7,000 followers. As of this morning, this company has 97,000 followers, and they have single-handedly revived or reinvigorated, if you will, the mobile food truck business. And that tells you how powerful a medium this can truly be. Now, of course, this would not have all been possible without that other social medium that we've been using for 20 years, and that's text messaging. And we know how addicted the teens can be, who send on average about 3,500 text messages each month. That may sound like a lot, but there's this kid in Southern California, Raina Hardesty, who sent and received 14,000 text messages in 1 month. I've got to see those fingers. They must fly. When she grows up, I'm hiring her to do my outbound social networking. She's going to be awesome. Yes, these themes are always at the forefront. I love this story from the UK. This Scottish teacher asked these pupils to write one of those horrible, essays, how you spent your summer vacation. And this one 13-year-old decided, why don't I write it all in text lingo? My summer holidays were, does anybody know what CWT means? Complete waste of time. And I'm going to revisit that concept because it's very important to my later discussion. Before, we used to go to New York City to see my brother, his girlfriend, and their 3 kids face to face. I highlighted that too because that's an odd thing. I love New York. It's a great place. As you can imagine, the teacher was mightily upset. She was quoted in the British press as, "The English language is under attack." One University of Cambridge professor believes that by 2020, the English language will start to resemble texting. Don't believe me? Let's take a look at the history of OK. We used to write it O-K-A-Y. And that was too much, so we decided to make it capital O, capital K. And now when you're in chat, oh, that's too much. I'm going to just use the lowercase k because I don't have time to use that damn shift key. And if you use okie dokie, you're way behind the 8 ball, I tell you. Way behind. Yes, we don't have time anymore, and we need to save it. So what we do is we multitask to save time. And we need to do that multitasking everywhere. So here is Ellen DeGeneres to explain this trend in greater detail.
I was watching the news the other day, brought to you by Paxil. Well, now I need it. Smart advertising. That's another thing, too. When I was a kid, the news was on once a day. You either caught it or you missed it. Now the news is on 24 hours a day. And that's not enough. They got a guy talking, and then there's a crawl down there. So you got that guy talking, you got the crawl going, you're online, you're putting in your opinion on your poll. No, I say to that, no! I said no, too, that's right.
So what Ellen so beautifully shows here is how fragmented the consumer attention span has gotten. No one pays attention anymore. We're just too busy doing other stuff. Take a look at this video. I love this one. Have you seen this? Let's watch that again. You know, this woman got on CNN and said, I'm going to sue the shopping mall. Who puts a fountain in the middle of the mall? Don't they know I'm supposed to be texting there? Isn't that crazy? Can you believe this? It's part and parcel of a whole new trend called DWT. DWT is the new DUI, driving while texting. This truck driver was talking on one phone, texting on another, and somehow driving too. No wonder he ended up in the swimming pool. How many of you drive while texting or emailing? Raise your hands. Come on, raise your hands. There's a lot of liars in this room, I can tell you that, okay? Because the trend is up. There's more people now texting and emailing while driving. We want to be connected more. We basically are saying being in touch is more important than our life. That's what we're saying. That's a huge value change. I mean, you want to be in the mind of this teen in Tampa. My iPod or my life? My iPod or my life? She decided to jump in front of the truck to save her iPod. Luckily, she only broke a leg. But you got to admit, this is definitely an OMG moment. Or as they like to say in China, OMLG. Oh, my Lady Gaga. Crazy, huh? Can you believe that the Oxford English Dictionary has added OMG and LOL to their lexicon? Can you believe that? And BFF was already there. I didn't know that. Did you? The whole chat lingo is inculcating our culture. I love this Esso dealer from British Columbia who decided to express gas prices in chat lingo. Regular is LOL, plus is OMG, and I'll let you read how much Supreme costs. The fact of the matter, even though we're present, we're not. And that's what the fact of the matter is. But I am a positive thinker, and I love the fact that technology will come to the rescue. Take a look at this. You can now take a Wi-Fi enabled cap, screw it on your medicine bottle, and it'll send a text message or an email to remind you to take your pills. Hey, Gramps, you're not taking your pills. I just got an email. Don't you love it? And how about the fact that Nintendo has sold 31 million copies of Brain Age, a video game, because it helps you remember more. You forget more nowadays, remember? You can't remember that, can you? No. Does this happen to you? It happens to me all the time. I run into a room, and then I can't remember why. The only thing I remember is I ran, so it must have been important. But the funnest application of video gaming in healthcare has to be the discovery that the haptic interface of the Wii, you know, golf, tennis, helps people recover faster from injury. It's a trend called rehab. And you have to admit, it's much better to say, Mom is in rehab than in rehab, right? So, what we've got here is a trend called time compression. It's the acceleration of life. And we've got to go back a long time because a lot of people think, oh, this is a contemporary phenomenon. No, it's not. 1946, Cambridge, Massachusetts, 3-year-old girl, Jennifer says, Dad, it takes so long for these photographs to develop. Dad happens to be Edwin Land, and the Polaroid camera goes on sale in New York for $90. Same town, same year, 1946, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Engineer notices candy bar melts in his pocket. And the microwave oven is born. And we're permanently introduced to instant gratification, and nothing will ever be the same. Now, I understand that this is a rather complex topic, so allow me to enlist the help of a comedian to help explain it better. Stephen Wright once said, I put instant coffee in the microwave oven, I almost went back in time. That explains it, doesn't it? Of course, nowadays, you don't have 1 minute to wait for that Polaroid to develop. No way! You've got these sharper, bigger screens now on your digital camera, so you can get a real-time preview of that photograph I just took Because as you know, I'm too damn busy to email it to you, so take one good last look. One good last look, you'll never see it again. Isn't that what happens? This one is called hypercritical view. They're getting bigger and sharper so that you can do that one last look. And of course, you know, we don't have time to sleep because we're so busy multitasking. We now sleep 2 hours less than we did in the 1920s. Even babies sleep 90 minutes less than the 14-hour daily minimum recommended by doctors. What do you think that is? Because they have to get on the internet. That's why. Now you're laughing, but Mattel Toys calls the trend KAGOY. Kids are growing older, younger. And it's a phenomenal trend. In fact, I saw this statistic, and this underscores it. Look at this. 8 out of 10 children around the world already have a profile on social media. Now, of course, this is among digital moms, so this is kind of skewed, but the direction is clear. Of course, nowadays, we don't have time to do anything, and since we don't get any sleep, we need an energy booster. What's our favorite energy booster? Coffee. Exactly. So now we put a Tim Hortons everywhere because we need to get pumped up. And we've got energy drinks, which is a category that didn't even exist in 1980 and is now a $42 billion global business. Think about that. Isn't that incredible? Red Bull. Unbelievable. Of course, then you've got the translation online of this trend. Marissa Meyer says if your web page takes 400 milliseconds longer to load, you lose 1% in search volume, which is now 150 billion a month. So that's a lot of search volume you might be losing. Think about it. 400 milliseconds. Get rid of those flash pages. Make the pages faster. No one can read those anyway on a phone. So, and once you captured their attention, remember, they're only going to spend a whole 60 seconds on your web page, according to Nielsen December survey. 60 seconds, that's it. And if it's a Facebook page, it's only 36 seconds. So you don't have much time to close them. Keep those pages simple. And as you can imagine, you know, the trend is being whipped up by the media and the marketers. I love this ad in San Francisco airport for National Car Rental. It used one of those radar guns to measure walking speed of the people walking up to the sign. You know, and as I was taking the picture, I noticed people were speeding up. So I'm going to email National. I'm going to say, put these in every airport so we can speed up those slowpokes. It's amazing, isn't it? Of course, the trend has good news if you're a squirrel or a trout because we're hunting and fishing less. Who has time for that stuff? We have lost 4 million golf players in the United States since 2000 because no one has time to play 18 holes. 3 holes, anybody? That's all the time I have. 3-hole golf is going to become very popular. Mark my words. And what are the loveliest words we can hear in the office? Anybody know? Can we reschedule? Can we reschedule? Thank you for giving me a slice of my day back. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Think about the value change here. We used to look forward to lunch. Now we look forward to lunch canceled. That's a huge change in our psyche. So what is this all about? Here's Alan to tell us more.
Those jingles are catchy. We retain that. In 30 seconds, we remember all this stuff, you know, because of the repetition. I believe that someday sitcoms will be 30 seconds long. Because that's all we'll need, and that's all our attention span can take, because our attention span is shot. We've all got attention deficit disorder, ADD, or OCD, or one of these disorders with 3 letters, because we don't have the time and patience to pronounce the entire disorder. That should be a disorder right there. TBD, too busy disorder. What's with the sudden choice of disorders that we've got now? You know, when I was a kid, we just had crazy people. That's all, just crazy people. Take in something positive, you know, because we hear all this negative stuff all the time, and we go out into the world, and it's so chaotic, and we're not that we're going to notice if it's a beautiful day. We're moving too fast to even pay attention to that, and we need help to keep up with that pace. So we put a coffee shop here, and there's a coffee shop here, and a coffee shop here, and a coffee shop here, and the smallest coffee is a tall, and I'll have a coffee and a side of Red Bull because I'm very, very busy. I've got TBD and I'm late for yoga. Hurry, hurry.
Yoga, coffee, energy drinks, TBD. She just finished telling the audience, yoga is paid adult babysitting. Quiet time we can't arrange for ourselves, so we pay someone else $20 to keep us quiet for 90 minutes. Ain't that the truth? It is, absolutely. So the thought starter for the time compression Ubertrend is that we've created a society that's in love with instant gratification, suffers from ADD, keep things simple, and try to avoid CWOT at all cost. Another Ubertrend is unwired, and again, this is a long-term trend. Genie, garage door opener, 1954, Midwest town. 2 years later, Zenith comes up with the Space Commander remote control for television, and the couch potato generation is born, and everything has to go wireless because we don't want to get up, right? What's the biggest exponent of the trend? Picture is right below. The smartphone, the phone, the cell phone. Can you believe that people camp now in front of an Apple store waiting for a phone to go on sale? How crazy is that? Those people are Looney Tunes, I tell you. Why would you camp? While I was standing in line, it reminded me of this joke. The only time kids go camping now is in front of a store waiting for a video game to go on sale. Isn't that the truth? Who's got time to go camping? I got to update my Facebook status. But the reality of the matter is that this phone has reshaped our culture. I love this cartoon. A bunch of my friends are coming over to stare at their phones. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that what we've become? But the reality is it's hypnotic. It helps us shop. It helps us avoid consumer electronics disaster like Decide.com does on your app, telling you to buy or wait. It helps us with all kinds of things, but it, of course, also propels another trend, which Libby Copeland was trying to get at. There's something peculiarly modern about this emerging pickiness phenomenon, something aligned with our consumerific culture of too much. What she was trying to get to is a trend I call control freak. And you're going to say, hey, Michael, I'm not a control freak. Are you familiar with this UPS package tracking application? Every day, UPS handles 23 million package tracking requests, and FedEx handles another 7 million. That's 30 million control freak commands every day. Give me that tracking number. I want to make sure you send me that check. Oh, it's on the truck. Oh, thank you. I can relax now. See? You've gone through that before, haven't you? Well, the trend has spilled over to the pizza business. You can now go to the Domino's website and track your pizza. Here I'm in Atlanta, and I can see that DeMarcus put my pizza in the oven at 6:50 p.m. Oh, thank you. I can relax now. Thanks, DeMarcus. Look, there's even a quality check stage. What the hell is that? Pizza's in the box? But allows you to engage with your customers. You know what that's all about. It's marketing speak. So thought starter, unwired Ubertrend. It's creating a highly mobile and independent society that's in love with our favorite value, freedom. Freedom to decide when, where, how. So let the customer take over the process is the message. Let them handle the whole tracking of the order. Hey, saves you money, saves you time. Okay, digital lifestyle, marriage of man and machine. There's a scientist in the Netherlands who believes that we will be marrying robots by 2050, and Massachusetts will be the first state to allow it. Do you think we'll find robot love, anybody? Do you? Huh? Come on. Hey, I have some advice for you. Don't knock it until you try it, okay? And while you ponder the question, consider the evidence. Already 4 out of 5 adolescents sleep with their phone in or near their bed. Let me show you this picture. Do I have to show you anything else? No. That tells you a lot, doesn't it? Sums it up beautifully. Take a look at this little video I found about robotics. Holy cow, that's amazing. If you're a Rubik's Cube fan, you know what I mean. That's incredible. So this gives you an inkling how fast things are going to go. And if you don't believe me, think about how fast things have already gone. The newspaper says they may stop delivering letters on Saturday. What's a newspaper? What's a letter? Isn't that the truth? And it's only going to accelerate with the digital natives, you know, those born after 1996, getting into the workforce. Because they're going to accelerate everything even more. They're used to this online oxygen business. Take a look at this trend. I mean, I was just flabbergasted when I saw it. 7 out of 10 children ages 2 to 5 can use a computer mouse, but only 1 in 10 can tie their own shoelaces. I think that sums it up beautifully, doesn't it? Absolutely. So, thought starter, the digital lifestyle is rewriting the rules of social engagement. As we blur the lines between reality and virtuality, revisit your communication toolbox, because the reality is these people speak a totally different lingo, and you need to be with it. Don't be caught behind. So, weave social into your fabric. I don't think I need to tell you this, but, you know, since I'm in Toronto, I just thought, let's go over what some of the things that it has done for us. Justin Bieber's Baby, almost 1 billion views. What video has had 1 billion views? Can you name one? I can't. That's amazing. And here in Toronto, I'm very happy to see that we've got Sysomos, you know, one of the premier online listening monitoring social networks, social media startups. You've got SynCaps. Out of Waterloo Hills TwitSprout, which I've subscribed to their reporting as long ago as 2 years. Highly recommend them. It's free right now to get started. I love this. They're based in Toronto now as well. Of course, the other startup, PostRank, was acquired by Google out of Waterloo, so they're gone. Goodbye. I hope you make a lot of money. Thank you. Talking about acquisitions, of course, who can forget New Brunswick's Radian 6? To Salesforce.com, and that means, you know, Hootsuite can't be too far behind. It's got to go soon. But even social media, I would hesitate, is not even the biggest thing. What really is the biggest is all this content and how we manage it. And that is where the action is going to be in the next 5 to 10 years, because you, as well as I, know those news feeds are impossible to manage right now already, as are the friend requests. And there are some bright blips on the horizon that I see. I'm particularly impressed with this University of Toronto technology that was developed that is powering bleak times. You should try it out. It gives you basically a live feed of news, kind of analogous to what Zeit is doing, which was acquired by CNN, as you well know. Be smart. Don't friend the wrong social experts, is my advice. You probably heard that I am now the founder of a new startup called Social Revolution. I'm billing it as a change agency. The goal here is to help your neighbors to the south, which, as you well know, need a lot of help, reinvent the country. So I'm going to try to use crowdsourcing and all state-of-the-art social media techniques to achieve the impossible, and that is to reinvent America. And most people think I'm out of my mind, but hey, it takes a crazy dude to get things done. So, friend me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Ubercool, Twitter, Ubercool, Google+, I'm Social Revolution. Do yourself a favor, download my book called Social Engagement Marketing for free. It doesn't cost you a cent. It is the only social media marketing book that has pictures of Britney Spears and Hugo Chavez in it. I can guarantee you that. And as you can see, it's a visual splendor because I hate boring books. You can download it from my site, michaelchong.com, and I thank you very much for lending me the time. I know you found this inspiring and exciting. Thank you very much. Thank you.